तं येन तस्मै श्रीगुर्वे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
Hare Krishna. Okay. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, yes Prabhu ji, thank you.
Sundar Chaitanya, you can share the screen. I have a little issue here.
Okay, I'll do that. Do you want to say a few words about the last chapter, or shall we go straight into it?
Let's go straight into it, and then we can.
Okay, so last time we had prayers from. Oh, I didn't get the PDF open. That's okay. Last time we had prayers from the different islands. I'll get it up in a minute so we can go through that, which islands where, etc. And so in this way we discussed various prayers, highlighting some very nice verses that Srila Prabhupada really likes over here. And we concluded with verse 23 of the 18th chapter. And now we're going to move from Mother Lakshmi was praying to Kamadhev, and now we're moving to the next Varsha of this Bhumandala plane. And so if I can have a devotee to read from verse 24 till verse 28, I'd be very grateful, please.
I'll read that, Prabhuji.
Oh, sorry, Satish Prabhu. Next time, Satish Prabhuji.
there is plenty of reading today.
Yeah, we have a lot of things to read. Okay, thank you, Shama Shriji Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Text 24. Shukdev Goswami continued. In Ramayaka Varsha, where Vashwat Manu rules, the Supreme Personality of Godhead appeared as Lord Matsya at the end of the last era, the Chakshusha Manvantra. Vashwata Manu now worships Lord Matsya in pure devotional service and chants the following mantra. Text 25. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is pure transcendence. He is the origin of all life, bodily strength, mental power, and sensory ability. Known as Matsya Avatar, the gigantic fish incarnation, he appears first among all the incarnations, and again I offer my obeisances unto him. Text 26. My dear Lord, just as the puppeteer controls his dancing dolls and a husband controls his wife, your Lordship controls all the living entities in the universe, such as Brahmanas, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudras. Although you are in everyone's heart as the supreme witness and commander, and are outside everyone as well. The so-called leaders of societies, communities, and countries cannot realize you. Only those who hear the vibration of the Vedic mantras can appreciate you. Text 27. My Lord, from the great leaders of the universe, such as Lord Brahma and other demigods, down to the political leaders of this world, all are envious of your authority. Without your help, however, they could neither separately nor concertedly maintain the innumerable living entities within the universe. You are actually the only maintainer of all human beings, of animals like cows and asses, and of plants, reptiles, birds, mountains, and whatever else is visible within this material world. Text 28. O Almighty Lord, at the end of the millennium, this planet Earth, which is the source of all kinds of herbs, drugs, and trees, was inundated by water and drowned beneath the devastating waves. At that time, you protected me along with the earth and roamed the sea with great speed O unborn one, you are the actual maintainer of the entire universal creation, and therefore you are the cause of all living entities. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
So,
Prabhuji.
this section is the prayers of, yeah, okay. Yeah. This section is the prayers of offered unto Matsya Avatar, who is the first out of the Dashavatar, who retrieves the Vedic literatures after the universal inundation. And this is spoken in Ramyakavarsha by Manu. As you can see on the diagram over there, it's just above the 3 middle varshas. So Matsya is there present in Ramyakavarsha. So I'm gonna. You're muted.
In the last chapter, we had, basically, Satish Prabhu, welcome back. So currently, we are discussing the prayers offered by the residents of Jambudvipa. In Jambudvipa, we have 9 divisions. These are called 9 varshas, 9 tracts of lands. And they are separated by various mountain ranges. So, in the last class, we had seen prayers offered by Bhadrashrava in Bhadrashva Varsha, and then Prahalad Maharaj in Harivamsha is offering in Bhadrashva Varsha, Ayashirsha, horse form like of the Lord is worshipped. In Kimpursha Varsha, Prahlad Maharaj offers prayers to Narsinghadev along with his associates. Then we also discussed the prayers to Cupid by Mother Lakshmi and other demigods. So today we will be covering the rest of the, Krishna willing, time permitting, the prayers offered by other parts of the, residents of the other parts of the Jambudvipa. So just now we read about this one, Ramyakavarsha. In Ramyakavarsha, there is, does anybody remember who is offering, who is heading the prayers?
Manu. It's Manu.
Vaivasvata Manu. Vaivasvata Manu.
Yeah,
So
he was Satyavrat Muni turned Vaivasvat Manu.
Yes. So he is offering prayers to Lord Matsya, or the fish incarnation of the Lord. This Vaivasvata Manu, he was, as Manjurada mentioned, in the past Manvantara, he was known as King Satyavrata. He was a great devotee of the Lord, and when he was actually, performing his daily duties in the river Kritamala, and when he took the water into his palm, he saw a little fish, and he threw it back. And then this little fish, repeatedly, appeared to King Satyavrata and requested that, there are some huge, big whales are there, big fish are there, they're going to swallow me, so I've taken shelter of you, so please protect me. This is from previous Manvantara, not from this Manvantara. When he was when he was a king, Satyavrata. So that king brought that little fish and put it in one pot. Within few moments, it fully occupied that pot like that. Every time, he changed the pot size, the fish was expanding like anything. Then he threw it into a pond. Then immediately the entire pond was occupied by the fish. Then he threw it into the ocean, and within a few moments, the entire ocean was occupied by this Matsya avatar. Then Lord Matsya spoke to him and said that, within a few days, there will be inundation. Entire the Bhumandala is going to be covered by the water. And so please collect some herbs and seeds along with the great seven sages. So please, jump into the boat that I will send it over to you. And then that boat was actually pulled by Matsya, Lord Matsya himself. Lord Matsya himself for a long time, and while moving in the waters, Lord Matsya enlightened King Satyavrata and other sages. That same Satyavrata became Vaivasvata Manu in this Manvantara. So Vaivasvata Manu is the son of sun god known as Shraddha Deva. He is the Manu for this Manvantara. So because he had that connection, so he worships and meditates on Lord Matsya. Okay, so let's move on to the next Varsha, Hiranmaya Varsha. Sundar Chaitanya? Are you sharing this? Shall I share the screen? You are muted.
Can
you see the screen now?
Yeah.
Okay. So continuing from Hiranmaya Varsha, from verses 29 till the end of the chapter. If we can have a devotee to read. I think it was Satish Prabhuji, right?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Text 29, Shukadeva Goswami continued, in Hiranyamaya Varsha, the Supreme Lord Vishnu lives in the form of a tortoise, Kurma Sharira. This most dear and beautiful form is always worshipped there in devotion service by Aryama, the chief resident of Hiranyamaya Varsha, along with the other inhabitants of that land. They chant the following hymns. Text 30. O my Lord, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you, who have assumed the form of a tortoise. You are the reservoir of all transcendental qualities and being entirely untinged by matter. You are perfectly situated in pure goodness. You move here and there in the water, but no one can discern your position. Therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Because of your transcendental position, you are not limited by past, present, and future. You are present everywhere as the shelter of all things, and therefore I offer my respectful obeisances unto you again and again. Text 31. My dear Lord, this visible cosmic manifestation is a demonstration of your own creative energy. Since the countless varieties of forms within this cosmic manifestation are simply a display of your external energy, this Virata Rupa, universal body, is not your real form. Except for a devotee in transcendental consciousness, no one can perceive your actual form. Therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Text 32. My dear Lord, you manifest your different energies in countless forms as living entities born from wombs, from eggs, and from perspiration, as plants and trees that grow out of the earth, as all the living entities, both moving and standing, including the demigods, the learned sages and pitas, as outer space, as the higher planetary system containing the heavenly planets, and as the planet Earth with its hills, rivers, seas, oceans, and islands. Indeed, all the stars and planets are simply manifestations of your different energies, but originally you are the one without a second. Therefore, there is nothing beyond you. This entire cosmic manifestation is therefore not false, but is simply a temporary manifestation of your inconceivable energy. Text 33. O my Lord, your name, form, and bodily features are expanded in countless forms. No one can determine exactly how many forms exist, yet you yourself in your incarnation as the learned scholar Kapila Deva have analyzed the cosmic manifestation as containing 24 elements. Therefore, if one is interested in Sankhya philosophy, by which one can enumerate the different truths, he must hear it from you. Unfortunately, non-devotees simply count the different elements and remain ignorant of your actual form. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you.
Sorry, Prabhu, I made a mistake. The next section is actually the next island. So these verses which you have beautifully read from 29 to 33 are the glorification of Kurmadev. Now, Kurmadev, some of you may know, I actually got a... Sorry, I'm going to override your screen share for a minute. This war of screen sharing. Kurmadev is beautifully depicted here in this pastime. So if some of you know the Mohini Murti pastime, what happens is in the churning of the milk ocean, they bring this mountain, and the mountain is now falling because it's very heavy. It's now falling. It's meant to act as a churning rod, but it's actually falling into the milk ocean. And so then again, in that pastime, the demigods and demons, they take shelter of the Lord, and the Supreme Lord comes as Kurmadev, and he holds up this massive mountain on his back. And as the churning of the milk ocean occurs, the I'm going to skip the story, but the demigods and demons, as they are churning, the mountain is turning in the same way that the rod would turn in the stirring rod. And it's described that it was giving like a nice itch on the shell of Kurmadev. Yeah, like scratching nicely. And so he felt very peaceful. So this is Kurmadev in this pastime. And yes, please share your screen.
Yeah, it's okay. It's in Hiranmaya Varsha. Aryama worships Kurmadev. Yeah, so we can move on to the next Varsha, Uttarakur Varsha.
Yeah. Just before we move on, this very important point is mentioned, which is that generally the easiest way to perceive the Lord, and this is quite a practical thing for us, is that if we're not pure devotees, we cannot see the direct form of the Lord. We can understand the Lord, as mentioned in the last lecture, through the form of the name, the form of the books, the Shastra, and through the devotee association, we get that mercy. But a very practical way that we can see the Lord is that we can see the energy of the Lord and connect that to the Lord, the universal form we can see. So every time we see the mountains, the trees, the planets, the solar system, every time we look out, we can remember that all of this is being sustained by the energy of the Lord. And so this is kind of a very low level but preliminary stage of understanding the Supreme. So look at the opulence of creation and perceive the existence of the Supreme. And then, of course, when one actually becomes a pure devotee, then one can perceive the actual Satchidananda form of the Supreme Lord. And this will be reiterated in the upcoming verses, which are from text 34, this time till the end of the chapter, where the Supreme Lord is being glorified in the form of the bull.
Varahadev.
Varahadev. Yes.
Bhuneshwari Radha Mataji. Can you unmute and read? Yeah, thank you.
Hare Krishna. Text 34. Shukdev Goswami said, Dear King, the Supreme Lord in his bow incarnation, who accepts all sacrificial offerings, lives in the northern part of Jambudip. There in the tract of land known as Uttarakuru verse, Mother Earth and all the other inhabitants worship him with unfailing devotional service by repeatedly chanting the following Upanishadic mantra. Text 35. O Lord, we offer our respectful obeisances unto you as the gigantic person. Simply by chanting mantras, we shall be able to understand you fully. You are yagna, sacrifice, and you are the krutu, ritual. Therefore, all the ritualistic ceremonies of sacrifice are part of your transcendental body, and you are the only enjoyer of all sacrifices. Your form is composed of transcendental goodness. You are known as Triyug because in Kali Yuga you appeared as a concealed incarnation, and because you always fully possess the three pairs of opulences. Text 36. By manipulating a fire-generating stick, great saints and sages can bring forth the fire lying dormant within wood. In the same way, O Lord, those experts in understanding the absolute truth try to see you in everything, even in their own bodies. Yet you remain concealed. You are not to be understood by indirect processes involving mental or physical activities. Because you are self-manifested, only when you see that a person is wholeheartedly engaged in searching for you do you reveal yourself. Therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Text 37. The objects of material enjoyment, sound, form, taste, touch, and smell, the activities of the senses, the controllers of sensory activities, the demigods, the body, eternal time, and egotism are all creations of your material energy. Those whose intelligence has become fixed by perfect execution of mystic yoga can see that all these elements result from the actions of your external energy. They can also see your transcendental form as supersoul in the background of everything. Therefore, I repeatedly offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Text 38. O Lord, you do not desire the creation, maintenance, or annihilation of this material world, but you perform these activities for the conditioned souls by your own creative energy. Exactly as a piece of iron moves under the influence of a lodestone, inert matter moves when you glance over the total material energy. Text 39. My Lord, as the original boar within this universe, you fought and killed the great demon Hiranyakaksh. Then you lifted me, the earth, from the Garbhoda ocean on the end of your tusk, exactly as a sporting elephant plucks a lotus flower from the water. I bow down before you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mataji. So, in the Hiranyaksha pastime, when the demon Hiranyaksha knocks the earth out of orbit and it falls within the Garbhodaka ocean, then Varahadev appears from the nostril of Lord Brahma, and he then expands into this gigantic boar and saves Mother Earth and reestablishes the Earth planet in its original position, and also then kills Hiranyaksha along the way, and Hiranyakashipu gets angry, which is why Narasimhadev... Anyway, I'm getting distracted. This is the story of Varahadev pastime. And so this very beautiful analogy is given here at the end. You lifted me from the Garbhodaka ocean on the end of your tusk, exactly as a sporting elephant plucks a lotus flower from the water. So you can imagine, we cannot imagine what it's like for Varahadev to pick up a Mother Earth, but we can imagine what it's like for an elephant to easily pick up a lotus flower, you know? It's very sweet, very elegantly, it'll just pick up like this. You must have seen, some of you may have seen these elephants. I rarely see an elephant unless I go somewhere like Srirangam. But they'll very nicely present you with a trunk. So in this way, Varahadev is so beautifully presenting the earth. And in these very beautiful prayers of Mother Earth, the same principle is being explained, that the complexity of this material universe is completely under the guidance, the jurisdiction, and the supervision of the Supreme Lord. And the very good summary of that verse is over here, that the material things are actually inert until the Supreme Lord actually glances on them. And so, O Lord, you do not desire the creation, maintenance, or annihilation of this material world, but you perform these activities for conditioned souls by your creative energy. Exactly as a piece of iron moves under the influence of lodestone, inert matter moves when you glance over the total material energy. And so Krishna explains Maya Dhyakshena Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam in 9th chapter, 10th verse in Gita. He explains that this material manifestation, it's working under my energy. Otherwise, these processes wouldn't occur. A process means there is energy required, and energy is different from matter because matter is just inert, whereas energy is dynamic. And so we can actually see that the facilitation and maintenance of the material world occurs because of the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And in this way, we can remember the Supreme Lord everywhere. So with that, we conclude the 18th chapter and continue in the exact same mood, the 19th chapter, where we begin with Kim Purusha Varsha. So do you want to explain the...
Yeah, just 1 second. Yeah. So today we have covered Ramyaka Varsha, Hiranya Varsha, and Uttara Kuru Varsha. In Ramyaka Varsha, Manu, Vaivasvata Manu, the current Manu, he lives and he offers prayers and he worships Matsya, the fish incarnation of the Lord. In the past life, in the past Manvantara, he was known as Satyavrata, King Satyavrata. That same Satyavrata, he became son of the sun god, and that's how he became the Manu. His name is actually Shraddha Deva. Vaivasvata Manu's name is Shraddha Deva. And in Hiranmaya Varsha, Aryama worships. Aryama is the head of ancestors. Pitrunam Aryama Chasmi. In the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Aryama's name comes. So Aryama worships Kurmadev, the tortoise form of the Lord in Hiranmaya Varsha. And the northernmost part of Jambu Dvipa is known as Uttara Kuru Varsha, wherein the boar form, Varaha form of the Lord is being worshipped by Mother Earth, personified Mother Earth and her associates. Mother Earth got a very intimate relationship with Varahadev, the boar form of the Lord. So Lord Boar appeared in the beginning of day of Brahma, beginning of the day of Brahma. And that time Mother Earth was, entire Bhumandala was submerged in the waters, and he lifted it. This is the first Manvantara, during first Manvantara. We are in the 7th Manvantara. That time he appeared. And in the Chakshusha Manvantara, the previous Manvantara, he appeared and he killed Hiranyaksha. So he lifted again the entire earth from the Garbhodaka Ocean. So you can see where the Garbhodaka Ocean comes. I'll show one picture. You understand what I mean. Let me see if I can show.
You have one. You have one there.
This one.
Yeah.
So the Bhumandala is in the center here. If you see my cursor here, Bhuloka, can you see? Earthly realm. So this is the part we are discussing, the center one we are discussing. So this is Garbhodaka Ocean. So this entire Bhumandala, consisting of all 7 islands and 7 oceans, completely submerged here in the Garbhodaka Ocean. And 2 times Varahadev picked it up and put it in its orbit. So Mother Earth is has a very, very intimate relationship with Varahadev, and that's why she worships Lord Varaha there. So now, after covering those tracts of land, now we are left with the
Kimpurusha Varsha and Bharata Varsha.
Kimpurusha Varsha and the Bharata Varsha. In Kimpurusha Varsha, Hanuman worships Lord Rama, and in Bharatavarsha, Narada Muni worships Naranarayan Rishi. So we will cover these two, hopefully, if Krishna time permits today. So let's move on, Sundar Chaitanya.
Yeah. So for anyone who's further interested in the cosmology, you can check Bhavaneshwar Prabhuji's beautiful videos on Vedic cosmology, where he'll remove all your doubts. So, can we have a devotee to read the first 8 verses where Hanuman is glorifying Lord Ram? Purna Mataji.
Mataji.
Very quick.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you. So I have to read from text 1, isn't it, Prabhuji?
Yeah.
Text 1. Srila Shukadeva Goswami said, My dear king, in Kim Purusha Varsha, the great devotee Hanuman is always engaged with the inhabitants of that land in devotional service of Lord Ramachandra, the elder brother of Lakshman and dear husband of Sita Devi. A host of Gandharvas is always engaged in chanting the glories of Lord Ramachandra. That chanting is always extremely auspicious. Hanumanji and Arshti Shen, the chief person of in Kim Purusha Varsha, constantly hear those glories with complete attention. Hanuman chants the following mantras. Let me please your lordship by chanting the Bija mantra Omkar. I wish to offer my respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead, who is the best among the most highly elevated personalities. Your lordship is the reservoir of all the good qualities of Aryans, people who are advanced. Your character and behavior are always consistent, and you always control your senses and mind. Acting just like an ordinary human being, you exhibit exemplary character to teach others how to behave. There's a touchstone that can be used to examine the quality of gold, but you are like a touchstone that can verify all good qualities. You are worshipped by Brahmanas, who are the foremost of all devotees. You, the Supreme Person, are the King of Kings, and therefore I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Text 4. The Lord, whose pure form, Satchit Ananda Vigraha, is uncontaminated by the modes of material nature, can be perceived by pure consciousness. In the Vedanta, he is described as being one without a second. Because of his spiritual potency, he is untouched by the contamination of material nature. And because he is not subjected to material vision, he is known as transcendental. He has no material activities, nor has he a material form or name. Only in pure consciousness, Krishna consciousness, can one perceive the transcendental form of the Lord. Let us be firmly fixed at the lotus feet of Lord Ramachandra, and let us offer our respectful obeisances unto those transcendental lotus feet. Text 5. It was ordained that Ravan, chief of the Rakshas, could not be killed by anyone but a man, and for this reason, Lord Ramchandra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, appeared in the form of a human being. Lord Ramchandra's mission, however, was not only to kill Ravan, but also to teach mortal beings that material happiness centered around sex life or centered around one's wife is the cause of many miseries. He is the self-sufficient Supreme Personality of Godhead, and nothing is lamentable for him. Therefore, why else could he be subjected to tribulations by the kidnapping of Mother Sita? Text 6. Since Lord Ramchandra is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudev, he is not attached to anything in this material world. He is the most beloved super soul of all self-realized souls, and he is the very intimate friend. He is full of all opulences. Therefore, he could not possibly have suffered because of separation from his wife, nor could he have given up his wife and Lakshman, his younger brother. To give up either would have been absolutely impossible. Should I read text 7, Prabhuji?
Yeah, 7 and 8, Mataji.
7 and okay. One cannot establish a friendship with the Supreme Lord Ramchandra on the basis of material qualities such as one's birth in an aristocratic family, one's personal beauty, one's eloquence, one's sharp intelligence, or one's superior race or nation. None of these qualifications is actually a prerequisite for friendship with Lord Sri Ramachandra. Otherwise, how is it possible that although we uncivilized inhabitants of the forests have not taken noble birds, although we have no physical beauty, and although we cannot speak like gentlemen, Lord Ramachandra has nevertheless accepted us as friends? Text state, therefore, whether one is a demigod or a demon, a man or a creature other than man, such as a beast or bird, everyone should worship Lord Ramachandra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who appears on this earth just like a human being. There is no need of great austerities or penances to worship the Lord, for he accepts even a small service offered by his devotee. Thus he is satisfied, and as soon as he is satisfied, the devotee is successful. Indeed, Lord Sri Ramachandra brought all the devotees of Ayodhya back home, back to Godhead, Vaikuntha. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. So these are very beautiful verses which are recited. Oh, that's what I had it. Recited by our dear Hanuman, who is such a wonderful devotee of Sri Ramachandra. So this is in the Kimpurusha Varsha, and these very beautiful prayers are highlighting several important principles. The first thing that we see is that the form of the Lord and the Lord himself is completely transcendental. He is Satchidananda, Satchidananda Rupaya Krishnaya Klishtakarine, Namo Vedhanta Vedhaya Gurave Buddhi Sakshine. It's explained in the Gopal Tapani Upanishad that the form of the Lord, Satchidananda Rupaya, the form itself is Satchidananda. And we have, of course, the reference from Brahma Samhita, Satchidananda Vigraha, Ishvaraha Paramakrishna Satchidananda Vigraha. So the form itself is transcendental. And this form cannot be understood unless one takes to the process of devotional service. So now that we understand that the form of the Lord and the Lord's activities are completely transcendental and beyond material things, well, one prerequisite of being spiritual is ananda, happiness. So then why is it that Lord Ram appears to suffer, appears to have misery? If you look at the Ramayana, it looks like calamity after calamity after calamity. First, Lord Ram, he has to go with Vishwamitra. That time, Dashrath Maharaj is feeling so sad. Then Dashrath Maharaj ends up leaving the boat. Sorry, I'm skipping. Then somehow or other, they have to go to exile. That's also a nightmare. Then Mother Sita and Lakshman also are joining. And so young princess as well, having to bear the tribulations of the forest. Then once they go to exile, Dashrath Maharaj cannot bear the separation. He leaves his body. You might ask the question, where is the happiness in this pastime? This is not like Krishna Lila where there's nice gopis, the butter is being stolen. Why? And the reason for this is to teach the mortal beings this principle that material life is full of misery. Martya Shikshanam. This is the principle. To teach the living entities, this is the purpose of Lord Ram's incarnation. To teach the principle of how one should behave ideally as an ideal person, and also to show that material life is full of misery. So these are the principles that Lord Ramachandra teaches. And he's therefore Maryada Purushottam, because he explains how one should behave as well. And then finally, this beautiful verse number 7. This is a gem of a verse. Please note down this verse. Please learn it if you can. It explains that Lord Ram is not, all external things don't matter for the Lord. That's what it means. Na janmanu na mahato na saubhagam na vana buddhir na kritisto shahetu tairyad vishrishtan apino vano kashash chakara sakye bhata lakshmana grajha. One cannot establish a friendship with the Supreme Lord Ramachandra on the basis of material qualities such as birth in an aristocratic family, personal beauty, eloquence, sharp intelligence, or superior race or nation. The monkeys, they don't have any of these apparent qualities, but yet Lord Ramachandra actually focused on making friendship with them. And why? What is that reason? It's because these material things, they are irrelevant for the Supreme Lord. Okay, so then you might ask, okay, if externals don't matter, what does matter? Well, first you might ask why externals don't matter, and then the answer to that is that the Lord is akinchana gochara, which is that Those who are attached to the externals, they are very much in materialism. But those who are not attached, who are frustrated with the material world, they are qualified to understand the Lord. But then you might ask, but what is it exactly that the Lord wants? And ultimately, it's devotional service. Bhaktya mama bijhanati. The Lord is obtained by devotional service. It's about the sincerity of the practitioner. It's about the person who really, really wants to seek the Lord. That person can catch. And so in this way, the pure devotional service is required. Anya bhilashita shunyam jnana karma dhyanavritam. So without any other desire, without any other tinge of karma and jnana, if one takes anukulyena krishnanushilanam bhaktiruttama, if one takes complete surrender of Lord Krishna via the process of devotional service, then they'll be able to capture him. And so this is very important. So whenever someone says, because I am Brahmana, I have a higher qualification for advancement, or because I am a man, then I am more qualified. These things don't matter to the Supreme Lord. And one of the things you can do systematically, I won't do it now, is you can actually go through each example. Janma, you can look at Shabari, born in a tribal caste, but Lord Ram gave. Vibhishan, he's a demon by birth. Lord Ram gave time. Jatayu is not even a human, he's a vulture by birth, and Lord Ram gave time. Personal beauty, eloquence, Guha, Nishadaraj, he became a friend of Lord Ram, right? The squirrel, it's not about the strength that you have physically. The squirrel became that squirrel pastime is explaining how Lord Ram is actually seeing the intention, the sincerity, and the mood of devotion. So this is very important, because whatever you may or may not remember today about the functionality and the geography of Jambudvipa, it's extremely important that we remember that without the sincerity of Krishna consciousness, we will not be able to attract the mercy of the Lord. No matter how much we improve all these other material facilities, no configuration of material improvement attracts the mercy of the Lord. Would you like to add anything to this?
No, absolutely fine, because that one verse is enough for us to discuss today. But we don't have time. So I request that devotees, go and reread that verse.
Please.
7 and text 8 it was very important. Other verses we will highlight as well. But the point is that the sum and substance of that verse is that Lord doesn't care about your externals. Lord sees our character, our intention. That is very important. And this has been demonstrated time and again. It doesn't see our externals. So that's why we should put effort to change our character rather than externals. What happens is, people put so much effort in trying to transform the externals, not taking consideration about their character and their personality. But Lord sees the personality. He's called Bhavagrahi Janardana.
Yeah, I was about to explain that, yes.
He sees your intention in which you're worshipping. So that is what important. And Hanuman says that I don't have any of these qualities. I don't have noble birth. I don't have a great physical beauty. I'm not a great eloquent person. All these externals he mentions, but yet, you became friend of us. You have, you have given shelter to us. That means you see something else, not the externals. So that's the very important aspect of it.
I just wanted to show that verse that shows that the Lord takes the mood. I've kind of given up on time.
He's so organized, he can bring up any verse like this.
Sorry, this is from my notion. This verse is quoted in the Chaitanya Bhagavat. Murko vadati vishnaya dhiro vadati vishnave ubhayostu samam punyam bhavagrahi janardana. So someone that doesn't know Sanskrit, they will say Vishnaya Namaha, because you say Krishnaya Namaha, Ramaya Namaha, Govindaya Namaha, but you don't say Vishnaya Namaha, you say Vishnave Namaha, because it ends in a U sound. So the learned person says Vishnave, the person that doesn't know Sanskrit will say Vishnaya, but it explains Ubhayostu Samam Punyam, they get the equal merits. Why? Bhava Grahi Janardana, because you actually see the bhava in the heart. And so if we miss out bhava and we're doing all the externals, it's like having a nice gift package with no gift inside. No use. In the end of the day, if I give you a really nice plate, Satish Prabhu, I give you such a beautiful silver plate and it has no prasadam inside, what will you say? You will say, I don't mind. I don't care about the plate because actually I need the hunger to be satisfied. So I don't mind if it's given even in a tiffin box, as long as the prasadam is nice. In that way, the more important thing that we should see is bhava. Bhava grahi janardana. Krishna takes the mood. Okay, coming back to our point here, this is elaborated in the verse after as well, that comes after this Najan Manunam verse. Suro Saro Tapya Chavar.
Don't worry. Just do as much as we can. There is no
Yeah,
need
I've
to rush.
given up on time. Time is not going to happen.
Don't aim for completion. Then it will spoil the mood. Bhavagrahi Janardana Krishna says it will spoil your mood. Then it becomes external, like completing a chapter. So go and recite the text 8 as well. So
Wait,
it's
let's do
nice verse. And please make a note and memorize this verse also.
Suro Suro Vyapyatava Naro Naraha Sarvatmanaya Sukritagnyamuttamam Bhajeta Ramam Manujakritim Harim Ya Uttarananayat Koshalandhivamiti. Whether one is a demigod, a demon, a man or creature other than a man, a beast, a bird, everyone should worship Lord Ramachandra. There is no need of great austerities or penances to worship the Lord, for he accepts even a small service offered by his devotee. So the way to satisfy the Lord is by doing service, the sincere service. It doesn't matter the quantity of service that one does, as long as that one gives it the best effort they have, the one does that the best they can. A small service, it will please the Lord. And we know this from that squirrel pastime, where Hanuman and other monkeys bringing great rocks to build a bridge. And the squirrel is throwing tiny grains of sand. I don't know, squirrel or spider. Sometimes they say spider. But it's throwing these tiny grains of sand. And Hanuman is thinking, squirrel, move out the way. I'm doing these big rocks. What do you think your grains of sand will do? And then Lord Ram explains, no, I look at both of you equally, because both of you are doing to the best of your capacity. And so in this way, one actually should recognize that it's not the volume or the external quantity of service, but it's actually the mood and the sincerity in the heart that's most important for devotional service. It's described, it's the mukhya hetu, the primary cause of advancement in one's spiritual life is one's proper intention, is one's proper character. You can do everything. You can have great sadhana. You can do so much here and there. You can put on a nice tilak, wear a kantimala. You can buy these all, I'm sure, for less than £10, and you can look like a nice ISKCON devotee. You just walk around with a chanting bag. It's done. But that's not what the Lord is actually seeing. He's seeing whether in the heart, is that a nice place for devotion or is it not? So this is very important. Okay.
Yeah, no. Let me add a couple of things on that verse. So here, everyone should worship. So whoever one may be, whichever class one belongs to, one can worship Lord Ramchandra. So there is no bar. So animal, human, demigod, demon, anybody can worship. So Lord will accept worship from anyone. From a child, from an animal also. Child, we see Dhruva, we see Prahlad Maharaj. From elephant, we see animal is elephant. Like that. Anyone can worship the Lord. And here it is said that there is no austerity. Sundar Chaitanya mentioned that it is simple. Small service, patram pushpam palam toyam, like you can offer little water, little fruit, flower. Susukum kartum avyayam. It is possible to do this. And it is said here, he is easily satisfied. That famous verse is one of the names of Lord Ram is Pradhamanjali Kinkara.
Yeah.
What does it mean? Pradhamanjali Kinkara. If you say, "Oh Lord Ramchandra, I'm offering my obeisances unto you just once," he becomes servant of you. That is the meaning. Padamanjali Kinkara. So, and the another point, can you what? Where are we? Sundar
Sorry,
Chaitanya?
this is the verse. It is my vow that if one once seriously
Ah,
throws unto me,
okay.
saying, "My dear Lord, from this day I am yours," and prays to me for courage, I shall immediately award courage to that person, and he will always remain safe. So this
Okay.
is Abraham's promise. So that's
Okay, let's recite this verse also. Don't worry.
Okay, we've gone from SB to CC.
Yeah. Sakrudeva prapanno yastavasmiti cha yachate abhayam sarvada tasmai dadamye tadvratam mama. This is equivalent to our 1866 Sarvadharman Parityagya verse in Ramayana. Yeah, famous verse 1866, where Krishna says that you surrender, then abandon all varieties of religion, surrender unto me, then I will take care of you. Krishna says in 1866 of Bhagavad Gita. This is from the Yuddha Kanda of Ramayana. So wherein Lord Rama says, "It is my vow that if only one sincerely surrender unto me, saying, 'My dear Lord, from this day I am yours,' and prays to me for courage, I shall immediately award courage to that person, and he will always remain safe from that time on." So this is Lord Ram's vow. So this was spoken, I know, when what's his name?
Vibhishan.
Vibhishan was coming to Lord Ram to surrender to him because he was kicked out of Lanka by his brother. So that time Vibhishan came to Lord Ram to surrender and submit himself. And that time, many monkeys were mentioning that he was, he is the brother of your enemy. How can you give shelter to him? How that, politically, it's not right. So then Lord Ram said, but, devotion and my mercy is beyond politics. So because he's taking shelter of me, I'm ready to give shelter. Like that. So that was spoken in that connection. And back to the verse again. Here he said, Lord Ramchandra brought all the devotees Ayodhya back home, back to Godhead Vaikunth. Does anybody know how long ago Ramayan happened?
Prabhu, it happened in the 24th cycle of this Manvantara. We are in the 28th now.
Yes.
And it was 4 cycles back.
Yeah. So one cycle is how long? 4.32 million years nearly. So this happened in the 24th cycle. And now we are in the 28th cycle. And that time, it is said that Lord Ramchandra, after ending his pastime on this earthly planet and going back to his own abode, Ayodhya in the spiritual world, he took all the living entities, even a grass. Grass is also a living entity, right? All the living entities were taken from Ayodhya back to spiritual Vaikuntha Ayodhya. Everybody got a liberation. Every living entity got liberation. So Lord Ram was so merciful, so merciful. And initially, when actually Ramayana happened here on this Bharatakanda, the planet that we are living now, that time Hanuman and monkeys, they were living here. It is mentioned, it is the Hampi Hampi is in Karnataka, right?
Mm.
In Karnataka, in the state of Karnataka, there is Hampi. That is where the monkey army headed by Sugriva, Hanuman were living. But after that pastime, all of them, they moved to the Kimpursha Varsha. From Bharatakanda, Bharatakaanda, Bharata Varsha, then they moved to Kimpursha Varsha. So that's where they are still living and worshipping Lord Ram and offering wonderful prayers to Lord Ram. Okay. So we'll have to stop there. Do you want to summarize anything, Sundar Chaitanya?
Yeah, I'll also give a teaser for next time. So we covered, today we covered the prayers offered in Ramyaka Varsha by Vaivasvata Manu to Kurmadev, to Matsya. And then we also covered the prayers offered by Mother Earth to Varahadev in Uttarakuru Varsha.
Can you see my screen?
Yep, we can see it. And then finally, we discussed the prayers offered by Hanuman and the inhabitants of Kimpurusha Varsha to Lord Ramachandra. So this is the summary of today's session.
Yeah. Purna Mataji, you have a question?
No, Prabhuji, sorry, I think I did not lower my hand. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Any questions from or any comments from anyone? So we will try and cover the prayers by Narada Muni to
Naranarayan Rishi.
Naranarayan Rishi in the Bharata Varsha next week. They are amazing, and wonderful lessons can be taken. So important. But the highlight today is about Lord Ram, the magnanimity of Lord Ramchandra is the takeaway message, and he doesn't look at our external. He doesn't care, about our externals. Is Bhavagrahi Janardana. He sees the intention of the devotee, not the external behavior. And everybody can worship Lord Ram. No one is barred at all. Anybody can worship. Everyone, actually, it says that everyone should worship Lord Ram. Yes, Arya Devi, you have a question? You raised your hand.
No, it wasn't a question. I was just trying to react because I like the point.
Yeah, go on. React.
No, like just with
There's a thing on Zoom, Nana, where you can react. Like you can clap if you want to.
Okay. Just
kind of
react.
Like that.
Okay. Excellent. Okay. Excellent. So please try and memorize these two verses, text 8 and text 9 from the 19th chapter.
7 and 8.
7 and 8. Sorry, I beg your pardon. Text 7 and text 8. Sundar Chaitanya will leave a little voice note as well for you to get the tune in. And next week we will try and complete the prayers.
The highlight of next session is going to be the demigod prayers for.
Yeah, even demigods think that they wish they had got the birth in the.
Hey, you can't tell them everything. World. They won't come to the.
I'm mentioning so that they can come here. Don't miss the next session. It is very, very important. It tells us the value of human form of life. Even the demigod wish to take birth in the Bharata Varsha. So that's the greatness of our the birth in this land, in the Bharatakanda. So we will look at that next week.
Okay, that's all good.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.